Welcome back to Hollywood 411's live coverage of Michael Jackson's funeral. I'm Madison Michelle.
And I'm Chris Harrison. A live look here at Glendale Forest Lawn Memorial Park, where the service is just about to start. Also joining us here in studio, J. Randy Taraborelli, longtime Michael Jackson friend and biographer. And Randy, what are we looking at here?
Well, we've got Marlon Jackson in the center there, and there's Randy Jackson right in front of us, right there. Jackie Jackson. So the Michael's brothers, you know, they've come together. There's Jermaine. It's a very sad day. You know, I can't help but remember the Jackson 5 on stage. Many times I saw them as a kid. And to think that it's come to this is really astonishing. I mean, who would have imagined that Michael Jackson would be gone? It's hard to comprehend, really.
And we saw behind them a portrait of Michael in a yellow suit, and I think standing and kind of leaning on sort of a Greek column.
Yes.
We'll take a look and we'll see it, I'm sure, again. And the family, the brothers, no doubt, getting ready for the arrival of their brother.
And Randy, can you talk a little bit about maybe the last time you spoke with Michael and a little bit what he had to say and what that exchange was like?
Well, Michael was always working on new music, and I was working on a story about the possibility of what he was doing, and he was very excited about a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited about what he was doing in the studio, and you know, he was always working on a comeback. You know, but the real emphasis of Michael's life in the last 4 years was his children, was on his kids. That's what he really wanted to focus. And thank goodness he had that time with them.
And we're taking a live look overhead now, Maddie. You see, this is also just a full-blown production we mentioned earlier, and we'll say it again, that this has been lit. And there are cameras. There's a big jib camera. We're not sure whether this is for the guy's reality show or for the upcoming movie, but this is definitely a production, and you will see footage of this soon. And we heard, and we were being told by the pool camera, and that's what you're seeing here, this live camera that we're all sharing, as we take a look at the great mausoleum where his body will be interred, is that as soon as the casket is removed from the hearse, which will be arriving any second, that we will lose this feed. And we'll see what we have from our chopper cam after that, but that's probably the last we'll have of the pool camera on the ground.
Some of that great architecture in the mausoleum there that you see all over Forest Lawn.
And again, a lot of history here. Holly Terrace section, which is a very exclusive section of the great mausoleum, which is where Michael's body will be interred. Being told that the hearse is arriving. You're looking live there now, coming through the gates, and will be making its way up there. And when Michael Jackson's body will be interred, it'll join the likes of Clark Gable, Humphrey Bogart, Nat King Cole, Walt Disney, an interesting figure because he was, you could say, obsessed with Walt Disney.
Randy, could you speak to that a
little
bit?
Michael loved Disney. He loved Disney characters, and whenever you went to Neverland, Disney music was piped in 24 hours a day at Neverland, all the time. And Michael played Disney movies at his house all the time. So he and his children loved Walt Disney, and kind of appropriate, you know. I don't think that he would have ever imagined that he would be buried in the same place as Walt Disney. Certainly, Michael never really talked about what his plans were, how he wanted this to be worked out. So it's interesting for me to watch this unfold.
A lot of ironic and interesting parallels that this particular memorial park was the biggest tourist attraction up until the time Disneyland opened, and then Walt Disney took over. So, again, Michael Jackson's hearse pulling up, and we will be right back with live coverage of his funeral right after this.
How far would you go to survive? Jason Statham tries to stay alive in Crank 2 High Voltage. Pick up the DVD September 8th. And how far will these people go to survive Samoa? Meet the castaways in Survivor Samoa preview Tuesday at 7.
Welcome back to Hollywood 411's live coverage of Michael Jackson's funeral on Madison Michelle.
I'm Chris Harrison, live there at Glendale Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. That is the hearse of Michael Jackson. Pulling up, the brothers obviously will be the pallbearers. They will remove the casket. There you see the brothers standing right there. And also J. Randy Taraborelli joining us, longtime friend and biographer of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's a very sad day, and you know the brothers, of course, made such a presence at the memorial service, and they were all dressed in with the yellow ties, and carried in the glove and carried Michael's coffin into the Staples Center on that day, and here they are lined up again, and it looks like we just ended the pool feed.
And that's what we were told, is that as soon as the hearse pulled up, we actually thought they might pull the casket out before they lost the pool feed again. That was just a live feed that the family had set up, and we've lost that. This is a live chopper feed now, and again, you see the lights and the production that I was telling you about, and I assume this will be the same gold ornate casket that we saw at the memorial service, and this was just moments ago. And what are your thoughts now that this is finally happening?
It was interesting to see Michael's children, because Michael really wanted so much to perform for his kids, and that was the main reason why he wanted to go on tour. A lot of people think he was trying to pay his bills, and I can tell you that was not his motivation. Motivation was he wanted his children to see him perform while he was young enough to be able to do it, and they were old enough to be able to understand it.
Mm-hmm. Is it just me, or does it seem like those kids have grown up a lot since we've seen them?
I think so.
In the last couple months.
These last couple months have been terrible for these children, and and the scrutiny, and not only the attention that they've received from the media that they're not even used to. They're used to being masked, and but in many ways, I think this is good for them. I think that this is an introduction to the real world and the world that they're going to be living in now as Michael Jackson's children.
And can you talk about Michael's concerns over the years for his children and why he did put masks on them and why he wanted to keep them out of the media?
Well, Michael just really felt so strongly that he missed out on his childhood, and he just didn't want his children to have that same experience. He wanted them to enjoy their lives as kids. And, even though we think that they were sheltered, they were always surrounded by nieces and nephews and Jackson family members, and they had a lot of friends. They just didn't appear that way to us, but it was certainly true. That's what was going on behind the scenes.
Arrivals from a few moments ago, of course, Sister Janet Jackson, and the casket has arrived. The service is beginning, and we were told about 45 minutes it will last, and we'll see. There's supposed to be a reception afterwards for everybody over at Villa Sorriso, this restaurant, this Italian restaurant in Pasadena. But
we're beginning to. Welcome back to our live coverage of Michael Jackson's funeral. I'm Madison Michelle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Harrison, and our live coverage continues here as the service has officially begun. We have lost the live pool feed inside. As they said, they would take it right up to the time the hearse arrived, and the brothers, Jackson brothers, were about to perform their pallbearer duties and pull the casket out of their brother, and that's where they stopped. And then also overhead, out of respect, the helicopters have pulled away. So the service, which we expect to take about 45 minutes, but who knows tonight, as things have gone well beyond what we thought they would and have become much bigger spectacle than we thought they would. But approximately 45 minutes or so, this service will take place, and there will be a private reception afterwards. We bring it back to our studios. Russell Wettinson from PopSquire.com, legal expert, entertainment reporter Ken Serafin from In Touch Weekly, and Ryan Smith, entertainment reporter. And very interesting, guys. We've been talking about stuff taking place on Twitter and how this has gone. We are now here that people at the ceremony have Twittered, including the Reverend Al Sharpton, Russell.
That's right. Al Sharpton, he's the Rev Al on Twitter for anyone who wants to follow him. He hasn't updated in about an hour, but within a few tweets he did say he was there. He was speaking with Lisa Ray, who is an actress. We talked about her before. He said he was with Tom Mesereau, who, as we all know, used to represent Michael Jackson. And then he made a grand statement about how Michael Jackson went through a lot, but through it all, he succeeded, and he was praising Michael Jackson, much like he did at the public.
I was going to say, at Staples Center, he really worked everybody into a fervor as only the Reverend Al can do. That, kind of went off, telling the kids, your daddy wasn't a freak, he wasn't, all that, and worked everybody up into a tizzy.
Exactly. And again, we're seeing so many of these family members, the kids, again, we saw them at the memorial. It was the first time we really got a glimpse of the kids. Once again, getting a close-up shot of all the kids getting there, of the family members. Lisa Marie Presley. We're hearing other celebrities there. Corey Feldman arrived. And as we mentioned before, of course, Liz Taylor, we saw that. So we really got a close-up shot of a lot of these celebrities and of the family.
Yeah. Pretty interesting night, right?
Yeah, again, it's that intimacy that we thought we wouldn't get, and for Paul to have gone down right into it, I mean, it was like we were there, then sound started to be broadcast. It felt as though we were actually going to be getting, just a regular broadcast of it like we did with the public memorial. It was actually quite surprising. I didn't think we'd actually have that much involvement in this as the public.
I mean, it was almost like a tease or a commercial for wanting to see more.
Well, that's exactly what I said, because once the